Bugsnax.
Well,
You just fucking recorded
yeah,
me
I just
singing
recorded you
Bugsnax,
singing.
you dickhead.
Well, no, well, we're starting. We're starting. This is literally the intro, Sean. You've
Oh
done it to
no.
yourself. Well,
Oh
welcome
no.
to welcome to.
My life is now just me doing a little bit of bad Bugsnax singing.
I
This is not
really,
good.
I really hope if this becomes big one day, everyone just clips this video and it just lives in your life forever.
My start to internet fame is just doing a bad rendition of the Bugsnax theme song.
Well, welcome to the Reverbium podcast. We're an entertainment news site that we've just recently branched over to YouTube right now. We're going to see how this goes. No idea. Our first topic.
All you need to know about us is that we love Bugsnax.
We do love Bugsnax, and you'll find that out very, very soon. Our first topic of all our podcasts are a comparison between the PlayStation 5 reveal event, which happened on June 11th or 10th, June. It happened early June, and the Xbox Games Showcase, which happened a month later on July 23rd. So we're just going to go back and forth on that, and we're going to see how that goes. And yeah, we'll kick off with PlayStation 5 first, which was, it started off well, I would say. I think it started off well. Was it Spider-Man that was the first thing that happened? Oh no, it
I
was GTA
believe
5. It was GTA 5.
GTA. Yeah,
Well,
it didn't start great.
I mean,
Didn't start
okay, I
great
take
then.
it back. It started off. It started off with something we've seen for the past, how many years has GTA been out? When did it come out? 2013.
So it's about seven, going on to 8 years maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be good. They could do some additional things that maybe might make it worth it, but at the moment, yeah, not great. And then we got Spider-Man, which the Spider-Man PS4 game is actually really good. If you've played any of the Batman Arkham games, it's very similar to that in terms of, I guess, combat style, but with additional things that would be more akin to Spider-Man, the character itself. And the story's okay. So the Spider-Man game is a sort of spin-off to that, featuring Miles Morales, and that looked okay. We didn't see much of the actual game; it was more of just a tease. But I
So I think that's
assume,
a problem with a lot of this is that you can't grasp a lot about most of the games from what you see. There's only probably one from each console maybe that they went a bit more in depth with that I can remember.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there was a lot of gameplay for GTA 5 for obvious reasons.
Which is pointless because we all know what GTA 5 is like to play.
Next on that was Ratchet and Clank. Well, the next big one. I don't remember if it came straight after. Maybe did.
I think it might have been, yeah. And this is one of those that they went a bit more in depth
Yeah,
into, which was
Ratchet,
quite nice.
Ratchet and Clank actually looks interesting. We have a friend who's a big fan of Ratchet and Clank, and he was pretty excited for it. So sure, yeah,
This is probably the only game I can think off the top of my head from both reveals that actually showcase some of the power of the new consoles.
yeah. I
Because
mean, don't get
obviously,
me wrong, it didn't showcase as much as Bugsnax did, because that is the pinnacle of the next generation of gaming. We won't get any better than
of
that.
of course, but on a serious like that, because obviously it showcased the fact that you can teleport from in between dimensions, which apparently there is technically a loading screen during there, as I heard from somewhere else, because it looks very smooth the transition, which is that's the only real thing that I've seen that actually shows like the power of the new consoles.
Yeah. Well,
But
they said that the next generation, I think at least on PlayStation 5, would be entirely without loading screens. I don't know how
yeah,
true that is, but that will be an interesting thing. There've been a lot of games that have skirted around it. Like the very first Mass Effect game had elevator loading screens, which were a bit of a pain, but they were still like skirting around it. Batman loads scenes behind you while you're playing the game, which they used a lot in Arkham Knight. But like it'll be cool to see how Ratchet and Clank handles this and how the next generation of gaming handles it as well.
Yeah, it did just seem very seamless, which is obviously looked really good. Obviously, you can't see amazingly how good it is because it's just a trailer and everything, but from what you could see from it, it did look very good, nice and smooth how they're able just to change dimensions like that, which isn't really something we've seen in games before.
Yeah. Hitman 3 was also announced, which is across every platform. So it's a bit of a weird announcement, but I mean, fine.
Something I'm very excited for. I love the Hitman games.
I mean, I preferred the older games like Blood Money, but we'll see. We'll see how they handled it. I'm pretty sure it's not episodic like Hitman 1 and 2 were, the newer Hitman 1 and 2, since the reboots, sorry. So we'll see, but it is apparently the last Hitman of this trilogy, obviously. So yeah, there was a bunch of other games. Bugsnax, I think, was next. As one of the biggest ones. I haven't actually put it in the article, which I mean that is disgraceful by me, and I'm shocked.
Who left you in charge?
Me, because it's my website. But obviously it is the pinnacle of gaming, and I can't see any game beating it for the next decade at all. Not on any console, not on the Nintendo Switch, not on PC. Yeah, Xbox has their work cut out for them if they want to beat Bugsnax.
And that is why, if you're on the fence on which console to buy, if you thought you're going to get an Xbox, just don't bother.
You can't announce your decision now.
Get the PlayStation.
No, we can't be biased. We have to choose. We're choosing PlayStation for Bugsnax. We're doing it. It's happening.
Okay, even if you want an Xbox, you have to also buy a PlayStation.
Yeah.
For Bugsnax, that's the law.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't know if
I'm making it law now.
I don't know if Bugsnax is actually cross-platform, so we could be playing ourselves.
Still get a PlayStation because they're the one that showcased it first.
Yeah, exactly.
They get the rights.
PlayStation know how good it's going to be. They know how good it's going to be, so there's no point even arguing that fact. There was a Demon Souls, which is, I don't know if you know the Dark Souls series. I'm sure you've probably heard of it. If you know Dark Souls, right?
Yeah.
Demon Souls was the first game of that series, and it was on the PlayStation 2. Was it the PlayStation 2 or was it the 3? I don't remember, but it's getting completely remade, like for next gen. So people who've wanted to play the first game in that series will finally get the chance to do that. What did I write here? This remake invites players to experience the original brutal challenge, completely rebuilt from the ground up and masterfully enhanced with a new fractured mode, which I guess is a different mode with the game. We'll just see. It looks pretty good. The graphics are visually probably on par with the newer Dark Souls, if not better. So yeah, that's a.
Well, you would kind of hope they were going to be better with a new console.
Have you seen WWE 2K20? The graphics on that are not better than 2K19. What else was crap compared?
2K have done some questionable things though recently, with especially their both WWE and NBA for their newest editions not being received too well. So.
Oh, that was on this as well, on the PlayStation one, wasn't it? NBA, which wasn't. They literally, I forgot who was in the trailer. I'll be real honest. There was I think it was a basketball player, not sure. He said a couple of words.
You'd assume it was a basketball player with it being a basketball game.
You'd be surprised. I bet it's not. I bet we've just been fucking played here. But yeah, I don't remember the tease at all, but I remember
But
it being teased.
it was one of those nice, annoying sports games where they tell you that it's been done in engine, so it makes you think that it's actual gameplay footage. But it's like FIFA do it a lot, like EA do it with FIFA, is that in their trailers they say that it's gameplay footage, but at no point during the game do you ever get those camera angles, do you ever get those visuals. So
Yeah.
it looks good, but you you never really get that in a game, which is a bit annoying. But
Yeah, sports games as a whole need to take a step back, and 2K have done that with WWE. They're taking a year off, and they're bringing in Battlegrounds, which is more of an arcadey sort of WWE game. So we'll see on that one. I also want to say right now, I'm sorry if I sniff into the mic. Allergies are hitting me very hard. Um, so in case you hear any sniffing sounds, my apologies. I'm not crying, I swear. This is not getting to me. Resident Evil 8's next.
you're just emotional about how long you have to wait to play Bugsnax, that you can't play it right
it's
now.
really getting to me. I can't. It's been months since it's been announced, and it's not getting any closer. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. Honestly, this end times. All right, Resident Evil 8 before I start crying again. It's subtitled The Village. It was rumored to be called Village for a long time, and it was announced. And I don't know how much of a fan you are of Resident Evil, but I've played every game except 3. Yeah, but I know what happens in 3, and I haven't played the remake, and I need to get it. But Resident Evil 8 is a continuation of 7, which I know might sound stupid, but I mean it's the same main character as 7. It's a continuation of his story. You play as Ethan Winters again, and it's set in a village, obviously, and has some story with Chris Redfield, who may or may not be the bad guy. Who knows? Which would be a twist. Do you remember the trailer?
You must buy a PlayStation and you must buy the game to find out.
Yeah. Do you remember the trailer? It had like a werewolf zombie.
Yeah,
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Was the moment PlayStation, like the whole, other than Bugsnax and Spider-Man, everything leading up to here was like, yeah, this is cool, but I'm gonna see a lot of this on the Xbox. I need something that's really gonna, interest me, want me to, what things I'm gonna want to see. And this was the moment where I was like, yeah, okay, PlayStation, that was good. Because I didn't realize it was Resident Evil at first, even though I knew all these rumored things about it. So, yeah, it was a nice surprise. And they ended the stream off very nicely with the last game, which was Horizon Forbidden West, a sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, which looked very good and looks like it's going to be a good continuation of the Horizon series, which was one of PlayStation's most highest selling games of this generation. So you haven't played Zero Dawn,
no, I have not.
but you probably will if you get a PlayStation 5. So yeah, and the big thing, the hardware reveal.
You have missed out 2 other games actually.
What did I
first,
miss? Well, what did I miss?
the first one is probably the best, along with that little teaser from NBA, is probably the best looking game, which it's kind of annoyed me that you missed that. I know why you've missed this out, because you're not a fan of games like it, but Gran Turismo, which is a huge PlayStation staple, and I can't believe you missed it out. That is poor.
It's because it's not in the article. All right, it's because I
Then
thought
that's
I put it.
poor reporting
No,
from you.
it's in the article, but it's in the stream. I only highlighted GTA, Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank, Hitman, Demon Souls, Resident Evil 8, and Horizon Forbidden West. Look, yeah, I like racing games, but I'm actually a bigger fan of Forza than I am Gran Turismo. So,
which I hate you for, because that is it's an awful opinion to have.
But I like Forza Horizon. That's why.
So you can't. For me, you the Horizon games you can't compare Gran Turismo. You have to. It's got to be the Gran Turismo games and the Motorsport games because they are the two comparable ones.
Right.
Both very good-looking games. They are normally the games that both consoles they use to show off the graphics. But for me, as a racing game, Gran Turismo is much better.
Oh no,
Just
I'm sure they are.
the feel of everything is a lot better.
I'm sure they are, but
So
I'm someone.
new Gran Turismo is something I'm very looking forward to.
Right. It's just like I'm someone who has like if I play racing games, I play it for like the customization and the free open sort of world sort of feel, which like I used to like Burnout Paradise, which was an amazing game, and I like the Forza Horizon games for being similar to that, but like also more of an arcadey style rather than you've got to smash this and do that. So I'm less of a fan. I know you're a Formula One fan.
Yeah.
The game,
Yeah.
I watch Formula One as well, but I meant more the game.
So I very much prefer the actual more
Yeah,
realism on how the cars feel, how different cars feel, how changing different settings react. That's more what I'll look for in a racing game than just going fast.
yeah. Was there anything else on PlayStation?
The other one was Little Big Planet that's no longer called Little Big Planet, which I don't know where I missed that change. That could have been in older ones.
Yeah, that's
that confused
why I didn't put that on the list because I completely forgot about it. I
can't remember what they've renamed it to.
Sackboy, I think. I think it's just Sackboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we know why they've moved away from Little Big Planet?
I don't think it's a traditional Little Big Planet game. I don't think it's one where you can just make maps and stuff. I think
so it's more kind of like a spin-off then.
Yeah, I think it's more of a spin-off. I could be wrong. They could just be rebranding it, but I think it's a bit late to rebrand it after like how many games have they made? There's like 4 mainline games and like a PSP game, sorry. PS Vita game. Yeah, if they're rebranding, it's very late to do that. But it's one of the games we'll see when it comes out. And the final thing on PlayStation was the hardware reveal, which I think looks pretty good.
Quite mixed opinions, I feel.
It looks like a router.
The wider audience. Yeah, a lot of memes, a lot of Wi-Fi router memes.
Yeah. I would prefer if it was black rather than white, and I think they might have a black version. Sorry.
But I did read somewhere. I'm not sure how true this is. Whether it's just a rumor that apparently you might be able to take those side panels off and customize them with different colors.
Oh, right.
And I've also seen a picture of the console completely without the 2 side panels. So I'm not sure if that's definitely true or someone has just made that as it would have looked better like this.
Right.
I believe it's not been confirmed, but could be the possibility that you could customize how it looks and take those off if you're not a fan of them.
Yeah, well, they didn't reveal a price, which I feel like Microsoft and Sony are both like waiting for each other to release the price so they can get the upper hand. But we'll see. There's also
although the Amazon page for the PlayStation did go up recently, so we could be getting closer to a price reveal with these things are being set in place. And obviously, we're now.
I think they said
3-4 months.
Yeah.
3 months. Yeah, 3 months away from them
we'd
coming
see
out.
A price sooner rather than later. We'd see a price sooner rather than later. So we'll see about that. The other big thing was there are going to be 2 versions of the PlayStation. One which is digital only, so you can only buy your games from the store, and one which has a disc drive. Personally, I'm going to get the disc drive because I've seen the prices on PlayStation Store, and when there's not a deal on, games are 60 quid and they don't go down. You have to wait a few months, which is fine if you're not going to buy games off the bat. But I do feel like you're better off getting the disc version. And if you like, I also like collecting, like discs and stuff. So that's more my style. But it's
And also useful if you'd like to double it up as a DVD player,
yeah,
which
that is
a
the
lot of
big one as
people
well.
do.
Yeah, if you want to use it as a Blu-ray player, you're gonna need the disc drive. You also they will also reportedly be backwards compatible, so you'll be able to play your PS4 games on the PS5. I don't remember if they officially announced this, but I put it in the article, so I'm going to believe what I reported.
Yeah, they have, because they also confirmed, it was either today or yesterday, that your PS4 controller will work with your PS5, but only if you're playing PS4 games that you're playing on it.
Right. Okay.
Because they've advised that every game should use the new controller, which I really like the look of.
Yeah. No,
I'm
it
a
does
fan
look
of the
good.
controller. But yeah, apparently your PS4 controller will work with a PS5, but only if you're playing a PS4 game.
Yeah.
So either way, you're still going to have to get a new controller. I mean, not as far as I know, do you always get one with the console anyway when you buy it? Because it would be pretty pointless having the console and not a controller. But
Controllers are a different beast when it comes to consoles. They tend to be very expensive, as I've found out because I had to buy another one about a year ago, which was fine. I mean I swapped between them for my PlayStation, but they're not the cheapest accessory around, especially
especially
when they're
if
so
you're someone
important.
who,
Yeah,
I would say, especially if you're someone who prefers the Xbox Elite controllers or
yeah,
a SCUF controller, then you're basically doubling the price, which they have their benefits, but yeah, controllers are very expensive. But
yeah,
obviously, if it means that you can use your PS4 controller, it could then be useful. So if you're someone who likes to have two controllers for like playing with someone on the same console, that if you go back and play a PlayStation 4 game, you don't need to then fork out the extra money for the extra controller.
yeah. All right, we're done with PlayStation for now. The next one, obviously, is the Xbox Games Showcase, which went
Can be summed
over
up in one word, which is world premiere.
world. They are infamous for doing that. They've done it for E3 the past few years, which obviously I think always gets mocked because the world premieres are never anything great. But you know, it's just what Microsoft do. I think a part of this stream was focused on actually all of the games they showed were going to be on the Game Pass when they release. Was that true? Do you remember?
Oh, you cut out during that. I've got to go, so we have to do
So
that again.
all of the Game Pass, all of the games that were announced were going to be on the Xbox Game Pass when they release, right? Do you remember that?
Yes,
Yeah.
everything that was in the revealed in the live stream
Okay.
will be on Game Pass.
Yeah, and they did announce a few third party titles, which a lot of them I think were third party titles, and every exclusive game on the Xbox Series X will be available on Windows as well. Will be available for PC players. So, is there a point in getting the Xbox just for the games? If you have a laptop or a PC that can run the next generation games, that's up to you to decide. But they kicked it off with Halo Infinite, which took up what, like 15 minutes?
I don't think it was quite that long, but it was
Maybe
something that
10
I was
minutes.
very much a fan of what they did, as
Mm-hmm.
this was the only game where you actually saw gameplay footage,
Yeah,
like
over the two,
genuine gameplay footage.
well, like prolonged gameplay. Like there was eight
Yeah,
minutes of gameplay footage
and it
rather than
was
this trailer.
actually from the demo,
Yeah,
which you could see.
but it basically is a sequel to every Halo game ever. Has new features such as a grappling hook, which allows Master Chief to get around the open world, which is seemingly a Halo ring on some planet, which is cool. The antagonists are the Banished, which we don't know all that much about just yet, but let's hope they're better than what they've done with the Halo games for the past two entries. But it's looking good. I'm excited to play it eventually, one day. But I haven't played Halo 5, so I can't really comment on where the series is going thus far. I stopped playing on Halo 4, and I never got to 5. But the game looks good graphically. It's I think it looks good, but a lot of people have been picking at the graphics. Well, what did you think?
Again, I'm not sure if actually confirmed, but I did hear him that apparently people saying it didn't look as good because it wasn't actually being run on the Series X,
Right.
which I found a bit weird
Okay.
because the whole thing was to obviously showcase. Well, would have thought they wanted to showcase that, but
I saw actually. I think I saw that announcement, and apparently it said it was being played on a PC, which was comparable to the Xbox Series X. So I don't know if that could be used as an excuse for not having good enough graphics. But I thought graphically it looks good. Doesn't look any worse than any game that's coming out right now. So this generation, people shouldn't expect better graphics. I highly doubt we can get
there's
much
only
better than what we
so
got.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only so far graphics can go because there's got to be a point where you're adding more pixels, but your eyes just can't pick up anything else.
Yeah. I mean,
And at the end
there
of
are
the day,
improvements that can be made, but
you're never going to get the real feel for the graphics until you get the console, you get the game in front of you. Because as well, there's probably a lot of people that were also watching the stream on a device that can't handle the graphics that it could be played on. So it's never going to look as good because the screen you're watching on physically can't show that.
yeah. Well, that was Halo. We'll move on to. I think this came at the end, but I put it second in the article because it's the second biggest announcement, which was the return of Fable, which has been gone for a long time, which really needed some sort of reboot. And I think they're going to bring that. There wasn't much. It was like, what, a minute long trailer of nothing. Just
I wouldn't even say that long. There wasn't much at all.
yeah. But I mean, it's a good announcement. I wouldn't have said that. I feel like they should have brought more to it if they really want to sell it. But I'm not opposed to a new a new Fable game. Sorry. But yeah, the same with State of Decay 3, which was another trailer they showed. But it was a longer trailer than that, but didn't really give away much, did it? I don't exactly
No,
remember.
so after Halo, a lot of what was announced, you didn't really get much from it. Some of them they did have actual developers, from actual gameplay side of it or what you could see of the game. That none of them were very long after that Halo demo.
Yeah. So there are a lot of short announcements in this. We're going back to racing games, like we were talking about. Forza Motorsport was announced. You're not as big as a Forza fan. I don't really like motorsport, so it's for a certain audience. If you're into Forza games, they always look great. So does Gran Turismo. Racing games are one of the most beautiful games you'll see, which is both a good thing and a bad thing because they make everything else look crap in comparison. But sorry, we had some technical difficulties there. We might still have some again. we were talking about Forza Motorsport. We've recorded this part like 3 times now. Um, but have you got an opinion on Forza Motorsport other than what we said earlier?
Just as per usual, it did look good. Um, Looked really good, if I'm honest, for what you could the bit you could see.
Yeah,
Obviously, like most of the games, didn't find much out about the game itself, but
yeah,
I still play Forza games. But going back on what we said earlier, like I still play the Forza games. I still enjoy them. Just I do prefer Gran Turismo over them. So it would be something that I'd still pick up and play, especially to see how it feels.
yeah.
But yeah, hopefully it's another one again where that it really showcases what can be done on the new console graphics wise, as they have done before, which would be quite nice to see.
Yeah, well, and the rest of the Xbox Premiere, I'm just gonna list because a lot of them were either um, things we didn't get much on, or just remakes, or not even remakes, remasters, or just
What
just
new DLC?
yeah. Well, the DLC I actually highlighted, and that's the Outer Worlds, and it's called the Peril on Gorgon DLC. Outer Worlds is a pretty good game. I don't think you've played it, but it is made by the developers of Fallout New Vegas, which is one of my favorite games of all time. I wouldn't say it's as good as Fallout New Vegas, but it's still a pretty decent game, and I'm excited to see what they do with the DLC. There was also Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. I haven't played Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, but I've heard very good things about the game, and I'm excited to see what they do with it. I will get to the first game eventually, but yeah. At the moment, have you got any opinion on either of those two, or?
Having never played either of them, not really much of an opinion.
Well, the rest of the games were dogs, the dogs are barking next door.
Yeah,
Dogs for you, yeah. You're gonna get used to that.
yeah.
Um, Everwild, Tell Me Why, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which I think is a remaster of the. Is it a remaster or is it a sequel? Ooh,
Um, I'm not entirely. I
what was it?
think
No, no,
it's a
it's
bit.
it's a sequel, isn't it? Or is Ori and the something else? I've never played it.
No, it's still Will of the Wisp.
Is it Will of the Wisps?
It's. I think it's just a bit of an extension on
Right.
the original game because they, yeah, in the reveal they did show a lot of side by side shots, showing what the Series X could do over the Xbox One, and
Yeah.
mainly showing graphics wise just how much smoother the game would run.
What was the game that you
Um,
said looked good? Was it Grounded?
it wasn't that it looked good. They had a. I was a very big fan on how they revealed it, just because of the because that's a DLC, which I believe is out now. So I'm
Right.
sure I've seen some people play it. Can't remember what it was for off the top of my head, but yeah, just the classic of trying to build up the game, but then sending you the complete opposite direction by telling you that if you're waiting for the game of the year to go and wait for Cyberpunk, uh, but if you
Yeah.
wanted a different experience, then to play Grounded, I was very much a fan of that, and for me, that is how you market a game.
Yeah. Oh, on another note, Cyberpunk wasn't talked about in this, was it? I don't think so.
No,
No.
no, nothing mentioned about it at all.
But Cyberpunk does look great, and if there's any fans of The Witcher around here, you probably should be excited for that. And if you're a fan of, the sort of futuristic punk style RPGs, which give you a lot of freedom and choice, that will probably, well, you'll probably enjoy that. So yeah, there was another game called Avowed. As Dusk
Which,
Falls. We'll go
but
with it.
Avowed, just a quick, that is something that I would very much look forward to. It did give me Elder Scrolls feels
Right.
on how it looked, and it appears to be that sort of quite interesting. So that something looking forward to.
As Dusk Falls, Psychonauts 2, Stalker 2. Stalker could be a good game. Warhammer 40k, Darktide, Tetris Effect Connected, world premiere. Oh god. I love...
Just quickly going back to Psychonauts 2, though,
Yeah.
that was also a very interesting reveal, as they had Jack Black singing the theme song for it, which was quite interesting. Obviously, to be able to bring in someone quite big like him is obviously says a lot.
Feel like he's doing a lot of, because he does YouTube now, doesn't he, Jack Black?
But,
so he'll do a lot of that stuff. But it is a good name to get on there. I agree, and it could be a good game. I believe I've seen a bunch of the first Psychonauts, and it was pretty good from what I remember. I don't remember a lot of the Xbox showcase. I'm just saying this now as we're getting wrapped up, which is why I've got Shaun here, because he does remember it. I remembered a lot of the PlayStation 1, and it adds to the dynamic that both of us have a side that we are sort of, talking about. But yeah, Tetris as well. Amazing game. What can you say about Tetris? Except it probably shouldn't have been in this showcase.
Yeah, that did slightly annoy me that it's supposed to be this big event to highlight and showcase new games, and you've shown Tetris off.
There was also The Medium.
Which is no.
What were you going to say?
No, that was it. That was just,
okay.
Yeah. I just can't. I still can't get over that they showed Tetris. If I'm honest.
I mean, it's no Bugsnax, is it?
It is not.
If you put Tetris and Bugsnax in a room, Bugsnax just shits all over Tetris. That's all we're saying.
I mean, Tetris is the most downloaded game of all time, I believe.
No. Minecraft is the most downloaded game of all time.
But it's taken over Minecraft. I know.
Yes.
That's obviously fairly.
Yeah, it's
obviously Tetris is not compared to Bugsnax, a game that we have not played yet.
Yeah, well, Bugsnax will be taking over GTA. It'll be taking over Tetris. It'll be taking over Minecraft. It will be the #1 game of any generation ever. And there will be no disputing that.
And that will be because I will buy enough copies to make it so.
Exactly, as it should be. There was also the Gunk, which no idea. Phantasy Star Online 2, New Genesis, Crossfire X, which I do remember seeing. It was it like a Call of Duty style shooter that they showed? It was quite like Warzone-esque. It was one of the last games they showed, I'm pretty sure. But I'm not entirely sure. Do you know anything about it at all?
I can't. Yeah, I can't think much off the top of my head.
That's the problem with the Xbox showcase. A lot of it was so forgettable, and I know it's been a couple weeks since it happened, but it's just gone from our minds. Meanwhile, like, the PlayStation 1 really stuck with us. I think that was also because PlayStation 1 had a hardware reveal, whereas we knew the Xbox beforehand. Like, the Xbox looks like a mini fridge, which take that as you want. It looks pretty cool, but it is, we've seen it. There wasn't anything really impactful in this. We knew everything going into it. Other than Fable, there wasn't anything that was really eye-catching. Unless you're a fan of a certain game, like you might be a Warhammer 40k fan, and Darktide might really interest you. But yeah, the last thing I got on the list was Destiny 2 Beyond Light, which I believe is an expansion, and they're just bringing everything over, which, sure, Destiny's hit or miss with some people. Some people love it, some people hate it. I did like the first game for a while, and then everyone stopped playing it, so I stopped playing it. I don't know if you...
And just once again, it's just another DLC announcement, which...
Yeah, I mean...
A lot of hoping more for new games to do. Obviously, everyone likes DLC. You want more. If you like the game, you want more gameplay out of it. But yeah, I feel like PlayStation just showed new games, or a lot more new games, whereas it was more of a split with the Xbox, where they had new games and expansions on already existing games.
Well, PlayStation was world premieres. Xbox was DLCs, a few older games. There is stuff to interest people. I don't want to sit here like slandering them. You know, there was stuff to interest people. Stalkers might be interesting. Senua's Saga. Like there is stuff here that will really interest people other than Fable and Halo. But I don't think they did a better job than PlayStation. Well, this is our opinion. Who do you think had the better like showcase out of the two? Personally, for me, it was PlayStation. Even if I didn't really care for the middle part of their showcase, Bugsnax saved it all for me. Game of the year, and that's all I want to hear about it. John?
So I think overall, I'd give it to PlayStation. So like I said earlier, I really like the fact that Xbox did show that demo from Halo. So for me personally, that's the sort of thing that I would like to see in a game review, is that the actual game, as opposed to just a 30-second clip of a trailer where you don't really get to find out much. But yeah, I think game wise, more looking forward to games revealed on the PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much what our decision is at the moment. It could change. There could be something really drastic that could change our minds, but we're heading towards the PlayStation at the moment. I'm personally not someone who cares that much about, the Xbox has this much power compared to the PlayStation, which has so much less. It doesn't. As long as the PlayStation has more power than the PlayStation 4, it will be great. I
also think it's very difficult to compare the two consoles, because when you've been listening to what the console developers have been saying, they seem to be taking very different approaches on what they're focused more on.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, I think it may come down to a bit of also preference on what you personally want out of the console.
Yeah. Everyone make up their own decision. I mean, if you're watching this right now, tell us in the comments or wherever which console you prefer at the moment, which one you think you're going to be getting. I've also just realised that we were so unorganised, and we started this podcast with a Bugsnax theme song that I didn't introduce our names, and I've been saying it the whole time. So we'll end the podcast on
We'll
that.
record it after and slip it in. It's fine.
No, we'll put it in here.
I just wanted to say as well.
Go on.
We have said that our opinion at the moment is slightly towards the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Both consoles do have reveals this week. I believe Xbox have an extra one tomorrow, which will be Tuesday, so we're recording on the Monday. And PlayStation have a third-party one on Friday or Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
They have a third-party reveal. So that could obviously, depending on what gets revealed there, could make a difference.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We could get price tags revealed. Xbox is rumored that, at least for the Xbox One, Xbox Gold, Xbox Live Gold may be free soon, which honestly could get people on their side. So
that did come off the back of the reveal that the Halo Infinite multiplayer would be free for everyone. So
yeah,
it looks like, and it, for me, I think it's something that Xbox have to do, because are you really getting? Is it worth it? I mean, it's what? I obviously taken away the 12-month subscription, but it was around £40, wasn't it, for the year? Which are you getting £40 worth of stuff playing that for the Xbox? I don't think so.
I mean, a lot of, like, especially with PlayStation as well, that a lot of the reason people buy it other than to play online is because you get free games every month, and PlayStation has been way better than Xbox in that regard, because they have more exclusive games that they can put on that sale, whereas Xbox don't. I know PlayStation have slipped a few months, like they've done stuff that people just didn't care about. and they've done stuff that people probably should have cared about and they didn't. But I honestly feel like both PlayStation and Xbox need to rethink their online services, and I think they are doing that. I do genuinely think they are doing that. But anyway, that is the end. We need to sort of wrap this up now. So my name is Jimmy. I'll let you introduce yourself at the end.
And I'm Shaun.
Yeah.
We do things in reverse here.
Yeah, this is like the upside down. You're watching Stranger Things. But we'll continue doing these podcasts. We'll think
this has been
this is not. You cut out there, but he was going to say Bugsnax. Our next topic on our next podcast will be about.
Got to leave them waiting for it.
Will be about Bugsnax being the greatest game of all time, and that will be the podcast topic for every episode after this as well. No, we'll do other stuff. We're thinking of doing like a podcast on gaming news, a podcast on sports. If you're a English fan, American football fan, you know, we're big football fans in the UK, so we might be doing something on the Premier League. How
I can bore the life out of you with cricket if you'd like.
No one wants that, so we'll probably avoid that one.
Everyone wants that. Everyone wants that.
No, everyone wants Bugsnax. Well, have a good evening and or morning or wherever you're watching this. I honestly don't know. Enjoy.
Hopefully somewhere. Hopefully you are listening.
Hopefully
to this.
you are.
That's all we care about.
Yeah.
We don't care where you're listening to it. We just hope you're listening.
Honestly,
to
we
it.
don't give a shit. Just give us your money. Buy Bugsnax. Okay, that's all. Buy Bugsnax. The end.
Buy Bugsnax, and we will make more content for you.
Bye.